Hey, this is Nate the Woodsman with Buck Ventures. You're listening to the Tracks and Tackle Podcast.
Hey folks, welcome back to Tracks and Tackle. We got a pretty good one for you here. We got a short episode of the recent Trout opener here in Pennsylvania. The Arrow Eagle and Hollywood Horse sat down and did a little recording pre-dawn while we were waiting on the season to start. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go.
All right, we're at the stream. We got our spot, all our gear's down. We're just waiting for the sun to come up over them trees and 8 o'clock to get here. We got a few more crew members that'll be by later, that they earn their privileges to get closer here to 8, but we're the young crew and we're just niching our tags and just, putting our work in to save the spot and hold it for them.
The funny thing is that, we've been doing this for many, many years, right? And for many, many years, we would get to the creek well before daylight, sun shining, rain, sleet, fog, everything in between. Doesn't really matter. You got to be the first one to your fishing hole. And we would just sit here and hang out, which is really part of the fun. But now we have technology. As much as we talk about getting outdoors, here we are sitting down recording, talking to the camera. But it helps pass the time, and we'll document the stories. So I think we already got a couple stories this morning, and we've only been here for about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I can just remember being at such a drag to get up early, whether we were butchering or, even like deer hunting, but even coming to the stream here, like for opening day for trout, what we did today. But yeah, it's that camaraderie, getting out with each other, like storytelling, and we have technology now, so we got a show coming out for you guys here, and we'll update you. But yeah, for my story, I was pretty teed off this morning. Everything's different in the dark. So
Yes.
I fished here since I was little, wearing Winnie Pooh boots, and I park where I thought I should park by this telephone pole, and I'm walking in. The path doesn't look so much like a path. Well, turns out I was a little bit below where I should have came in, and I walked up, didn't walk up far enough, and I was like, well, maybe it's the other way. And I turned around, headed back. I'm in 5 foot deep of water, testing out my waders that have holes in them. And then I come down to these houses, and I'm like, man, I'm way too far. And luckily you're on the way. I would have figured out eventually, but you definitely saved me.
There are no houses by our fishing hole.
Yeah, there's none.
We're in the middle of the woods. That's probably as much description as I'll give you outside of the video that you'll get a little bit later. But when he saw houses, he knew he was way too far upstream.
I was sweating, overheating. My feet were getting a little wet and covered in briars. I had to bust my way through, but I'm here. I'm settled in, and we're going to have some fun later.
Yeah, so here's the funny thing is, because like I said, we've been doing this for years, and we've been hunting this or fishing the same hole, since, like Brady said,
the Stone Age.
Since he was just a little one, before he was around, really. And when he said, hey, I can't find the fishing hole, I knew exactly that feeling, because I've done that. I've done the exact same thing. I've parked the truck in the wrong spot. There are trails all through, from the road back to this creek. And you get on the wrong trail, it takes you into a pile of brush. And then once you hit those briars, then you start getting frustrated. Then you start getting overheated. Then you get, you're aggravated with the whole situation. And he said the same thing. He did the same thing that I would have done. Well, I can hear the creek, so I just got to the water, and I figured I'd find my hole.
It would take me there eventually.
Yeah, but it's a pretty cool spot we're out here. Like, it's not fished too heavy. The locals know, there's a lot of locals that fish this stream, and we'll see different people. The funny thing is, like, we get here early because we do not want to risk someone else getting the hole before us.
Yeah, it's tradition for us too. So we want to really make sure that we get this hole so we can make memories and bond along the way, rather than, finding a puddle to hang out with where there's no fish at all. We want to put ourselves in a good position to catch some fish and make memories.
And the other thing is, like, your dad, not so much, but definitely my dad. We want him to be able to just show up, a little bit before 8:00, not have a long walk in. We've got a spot in a lawn chair sitting here for him, and he doesn't have to get up at 3:00 in the morning to drive out to the fishing hole. Let us young boys take care of that for him. So that's the deal. We're here. We're set up. We're recording. We're gonna give you guys a little bit of a pre-trout opener podcast video. We're gonna try to capture a little bit of content today, and we got the GoPros ready. We got the cameras and the microphones on, and I was telling Brady yesterday, we were texting about what time are we going to try to arrive, because securing the hole is 90% of it.
Step one.
Yeah. I mean, everything goes to crap if you don't get your fishing spot, right? Well, he beat me to the spot today, which is awesome. But he texted me and he said, "Hey, there's a lot of trucks down here." And I thought, man, one of these years, somebody's going to get, I told him, it's these young guys, right? They got the fire. They're excited. And if we ever lose that passion and excitement for the opening day, somebody's going to just wake up earlier, get there sooner, and take your spot. And then you get knocked off of top spot. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, when that day comes, I think it'll be a lesson learned, and we'll show up extra early. But yeah, knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen for a while. But yeah, when I was, stressed out, overheating, just trying to find this spot so I can set up, I'm thinking, like, man, I really hope these people aren't there. And, it probably was 20 minutes that I was working my way up and down the stream. I'm curious to look at my phone to see how many steps I got in. It probably was a mile, nothing crazy, but enough to get me worked up. But I'm just thinking, me walking through the briars in the stream, probably scaring people away. They probably think of bears in the woods. So I didn't get to the spot technically first, but I may have warned some people away from it.
Well, I live tweeted already this morning once I got my lawn chair up and you were out the truck getting your stuff back to the hole here. I was already on X sending out tweets saying, I'm not the first one to the creek today, but I'm definitely the first one to the fishing hole that matters.
Right.
So.
Right. But yeah, knock on wood, I think this is going to be the first time that we have everything prepared. We got our batteries charged. We got SD cards that are cleared and functioning. We got all of our equipment. The only thing that was faulty was the tripod this camera's on. Made in China. It broke on me, but I was able to rig it up and tighten a bolt up enough that it's standing strong. But everything's set up. The scene's perfect. They were calling for rain this morning, but I think that cleared. So it's going to be a good opening day, and I'm eager for everyone to get here and get our lines in the water.
It's awesome. I don't know if the microphones are picking it up, but you can just hear the forest. Obviously it's still dark, but this is heaven for me.
Yeah, it's quiet. The forest is waking up. You hear some birds chirping, the stream.
My favorite time of day, my wife and I were taking a walk last night, taking the dogs for a walk after dinner, and the birds were roosting, and it was, it's like 60 degrees, kind of not hot, not cold, really nice weather, overcast day, but, just really comfortable to take an evening walk, and you could hear the birds as they were starting to roost and everything, and it's like peaceful. And I was comparing that to the sound of the restaurant we were in earlier when we were getting our dinner. And I'm like, man, I was sitting in that restaurant just thinking, all I need is I just need to be baptized in nature right now and get out of all this noise, the music and all the chatter and stuff. So this morning is really good medicine. We're up and we're sitting here, we're recording before most of the world's even awake right now, at least in our part of the world. And this is what it's about. So love hanging out, man. You want to share any favorite fishing memories? Let's tell some fishing stories.
Man, the fishing stories, how far are we stretching them? But no, I mean, opening day, I mean, it's just about tradition and being with each other. I mean, I can remember when I was real little, just pure excitement catching a fish. And, now it's about who catches the first fish, who catches their limit first, who catches the biggest fish. So I can remember a time it was me and my dad, and now this is a small stream. All of us were here, but very small stream, stocked rainbow trout, maybe some brook trout in here, but cast out. I got a fish on my line. I set the hook and start reeling in. Oh my goodness, to my left, there's my dad's reeling in. Turns out the same fish was so hungry, he ate both of our bait. So we tag teamed this fish, and it was a nice one. It was 17, 18 inches, somewhere along there, which is pretty good for the stream. And, just what are the odds kind of deal. So I won't forget that. And we were able to share that catch together and, celebrate. And I think we cooked it up later and, had a good meal.
Yeah, that's those memories, stuff like that sticks with you. I can think of when I was little, your dad, my brother, he was really into fishing, right? So that's like the reason we're both into fishing, probably.
Yeah.
And so we never missed this, but whenever I was real little, I know my hardest thing for me was patience and staying warm. Now today's pretty balmy. It's actually, I don't know, 50s, and it's mid 50s right now. But I remember some mornings where it's really, really cold, and trying to stay warm as a little guy, that's a bit of a challenge. But growing up across the road from the where my dad lives, where we grew up, there's a creek bottom, and I can't fish it now. It's private land, but back whenever I was little, you could fish this creek, and so it was easy to just grab your poles and go across the street down into the woods, into the bottom, and do a little fishing. And I remember my brother taking me fishing. I don't know how old I was. I had to be tiny, because I got a trout on my line, and standing there on a muddy bank, and I didn't have enough weight in my britches to reel this fish in, so I was real little. And they thought it was hilarious, because I tried to be digging my heels in. At that time I'm fishing in like a pair of sneakers, and the muddy bank, like this fish was like pulling me in. I was sliding down the bank, going into the water. My brother would pick me up and move me back about 3 feet, and then I continue to fight. And it looked like trout fishing isn't difficult. We do it and we have fun, but it's not hard fishing to reel in a trout. But I was so young and inexperienced that it was kind of like comparable, like I was out on the boat, out on the bay, fighting this fish, because my brother kept on resetting me on the bank, and then I kept on sliding down into the water. And, eventually we got it in, and, the whole family's laughing and had a good memory about it. Like, I'll never forget that. But then, come Christmas time, I remember it was so funny that the mom and dad, they bought me a pair of skis, because it looked like I was just skiing, like water skiing. Next time I could go water skiing. So that's probably like one of the coolest memories I faintly remember, but I was real little when that happened. But it's cool stuff like that, getting the little guys and the little gals out, and having them have fun and make memories doing this. The other thing I'll mention is, you talked about getting the first fish, who catches the biggest fish. The past couple of years, since we've been trying to capture content and memories, I'm more focused, I would say, on filming you guys catch your first fish, or taking pictures of you guys with your fish, than trying to get it myself. For me, once upon a time, I wanted to be, the first guy to catch one, for bragging rights. But anymore, nah, I would just want to capture the moment, if I can.
I think that extra GoPro will help with that. So
yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll see who gets the first one between me and you, just for old time's sakes. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful weather today. Can't beat it. Earlier in the week, they were calling up to, I think, a 1/4 inch. So around this time was when they were saying they're going to start. So, I mean, there's been times, I want to say, April showers, it's rainy around this time of the year. So normally, I want to say the past 2 years, like it's normally wet or misty. So this is just beautiful. We can't beat it. But the weather's definitely great today, and the scene's perfect. And I know we touched on, the importance of getting here early. Something that I enjoy is seeing these guys that roll in, trying to get to a spot, and they're walking by us. They're coming in at 7:45, 10 minutes before the fish. And I get it. Like, yeah, line's wet at 8, and that's when you can start. So that's when you want to be at your spot.
They call us crazy.
Yeah, they call us crazy, but it's important to get to the spot early if you want to set yourself up for success. So, I mean, I think they have lessons learned, and maybe they get the itch a little bit more to get out.
There we go.
Sounds like the rain's starting. I just started to talk about it.
You had to bring up the rain. I don't know if it was last year, 2 years ago. I mean, literally a thunderstorm was rolling through, and I was the only one here. And that's the other thing. These guys that are rolling in like 10 minutes before legal fishing at 8 a.m., they probably don't have a buddy to sit down and talk to and hang out with. So just having you here or somebody else to hang out with makes it a lot easier to get out of bed in the morning. We talk about it all the time, having a hunting partner, fishing partner. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna hang out here. We're gonna capture some footage. We're gonna make some more memories, and we'll probably put this out. The week it'll be post. Obviously, we're recording and we're not live recording, so we'll put this out this week to recap how things go. We'll do another a short episode how things went, and we'll sort of tie in,
make a story,
some live action. Like I said, Brady's got the cameras, and we got the mics and everything set up. But share your fishing adventures with us. We want to hear your stories. We appreciate the audience tuning in and listening to us tell our stories, but we want to hear yours. Send us your pictures, send us your stories, fishing stories, and we'll determine whether they're actual or if they're a fishing tale, right?
But I mean, getting out like this, it's peaceful. It's a nice escape, out in the woods here. It's quiet, as we said, so escape from the concrete jungle and all the noise that goes with it. And it's a challenge. So, challenge yourself to get outdoors and try to get out as much as you can. Guarantee you won't regret it.
Yeah. Make the most of it. Take every opportunity. You only get so many sunrises.
The world is your oyster.
Yes, the world is your oyster. The other thing I'm thinking about is, in years past, we would sit here, and we have plenty of time in the morning. We would sit here and make breakfast, get a good, some eggs and some sausage, and make some egg sandwiches. And we just got plenty of time to hang out and stuff. But they were calling for rain this morning. So I said, I don't know if I want to take the gear in, but, the frying pan and everything, I don't know if I want to haul that stuff in just to get rained on and not be able to use it. So we bypassed on that.
We got donuts, we got oatmeal cream pies and honey buns. I think some granola bars will be all right. But we actually joked in years past as a fundraiser, walking up and down the stream selling egg sandwiches. But I found out where my girlfriend and her family, their tradition, they go to a big pond, and a lot of people turn out for that. And Mumminsburg puts in some nice fish there. But Mumminsburg Sportsman Association, they have a stand set up to make sandwiches and stuff, and they sell it for a fundraiser. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, man, they got it made. That's awesome.
That's how you do it.
Good for them. And it's a great organization that they put out some really nice trout in these waters. So if I were there, I'd definitely be getting 2 or 3 to fill up before I get my line wet.
Yeah, and most guys like us are happy to throw a few dollars to support a cause like that.
We like to eat.
Yeah. Hat tip to your gal. She got some awesome footage for your
I was really impressed.
Hype reel that you put up for the stocking of the trout, man. She's doing really good. We got a really good group of people that have connected into the hunting family and send us all sorts of content, and it really makes it possible for us to put together some of these videos and
just building up this community that we got. It's awesome, with us, but it's more memorable to, bring as many people into this as we can, and, those that are already involved, just to tell stories and, embrace each other and, just being in the outdoors, as we say.
No doubt. So your dad's going to be showing up probably in an hour or two.
I'll say, probably 6:30 is when he'll get here.
He'll wait until the sun comes up. And I don't know about anybody else. We'll see if my dad shows up. If it's not raining, he probably will.
Yeah,
Probably about 7:30.
7:30 is what I was gonna say.
And then we're gonna fish till our heart's content today. We'll catch our limit. We'll go home and clean them up, and then
Get out again Sunday or another day.
yeah, try to make the most of it while the streams are stocked, because they don't remain stocked. So today might as well be, it's like opening day of PA rifle. Maybe not quite as big as rifle season, but it's might as well be a holiday in our family.
It's going to be crowded.
Yeah.
Everywhere is going to be crowded.
So looking forward to it, guys. Appreciate everybody for following our stories. We'll continue to put out content and update you. This is just an opener. We'll probably come back with a little bit more here in a while. But for now, we just want to remind you, nature is our playground, and stay wild.
Stay wild.